47 Australian cattle dog facts every owner should know. Number 1. Compact and muscular. The Australian cattle dog is a medium-sized herding dog. On average, they weigh between 35 and 50 pounds, with males slightly larger at 18 to 20 inches in height and females a bit smaller at 17 to 19 inches. Number 2. This breed is known by several nicknames, including Australian Heelers, Blue Heelers, Queensland Heelers, Red Heelers, and Hall's Heelers. But officially, they're known as the Australian Cattle Dog, with the Heeler nickname originating from their role in herding cattle by nipping at their heels. Number 3. The Australian cattle dog has oval brown eyes that shine with attentiveness and raised, tapered ears, which give them a focused, inquisitive expression. Their head is curved and broad, featuring a short, sharp muzzle, and their tail, slightly bushed, hangs loosely from their hindquarters. Number 4. The body of an Australian cattle dog reflects the lean, coiled energy that lies beneath its double coat. The outer coat is short and bristly, while the soft undercoat serves as insulation against extreme temperatures. Number 5. Their beautiful double coat comes in 2 accepted colors, red and blue, while chocolate and cream colors are considered false. Blue Heelers may have various patterns and tan markings, along with a black patch or mask on one or both sides of the head. Red Heelers, on the other hand, are evenly speckled, with solid red markings, and can also have a mask on one or both sides of the head, sometimes extending to the body. Number 6. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when somebody says Australian cattle dog? Well, you'll most likely picture their striking red or blue coats with eye-catching patches, right? But surprisingly, both blue and red Heelers are born with solid white coats, possibly with light facial markings. However, this white coat changes quickly, and by the 6th week, their full coat colors usually emerge, similar to how Dalmatians are born with solid white coats before developing spots. Number 7. Many Australian cattle dogs have a distinct feature known as the Bentley mark or Bentley star, a white patch of fur on their foreheads. This trait can appear regardless of the dog's coat color, adding to the unique characteristics of these dogs. Number 8. There's a common misconception that the Australian stumpy-tailed cattle dog is just a variation of the Australian cattle dog with a docked tail, but this is not accurate. These are distinct breeds with their own origins and characteristics. While both breeds hail from Australia and were bred for herding, they have noticeable differences. The stumpy-tailed cattle dog has a squarer frame, shorter back, wedge-shaped head, and longer legs compared to the Australian cattle dog. Number 9. In Stanley Korn's book The Intelligence of Dogs, Australian Heelers are acknowledged for their outstanding obedience intelligence. They are ranked 10th out of 79 dog breed groups and are among the most intelligent breeds. They learn new commands in fewer than 5 repetitions and obey the initial command 95% of the time or more. Number 10. One Australian cattle dog, Skid Boot, was once considered the world's smartest dog. Skid Boot excelled at learning tricks from taking out the trash to leading horses with ropes, and he even performed at rodeos. In 2003, he won $25,000 on Animal Planet's Pet Star competition, and he also made appearances on popular talk shows like Jay Leno's Tonight Show, Oprah Winfrey, and Late Night with David Letterman. Number 11. These dogs tend to form an exceptionally strong bond with one person while maintaining a somewhat less intense connection with others. In fact, they're often lovingly called Velcro dogs because of their profound attachment to humans, often seeking constant physical closeness with their chosen person to the extent that they might even follow them into the bathroom. Number 12. The Australian Heeler is a high-energy working dog that's far from being a couch potato. They thrive in activity and need to stay busy most of the time. If their energy is not channeled properly, they can become bored and may engage in destructive behavior such as rummaging through the trash, throwing up furniture, or digging up your flower garden. Number 13. Because they were bred to be herding dogs, the Australian cattle dogs have a natural inclination to be mouthy. Their instinct is to nip and herd, which means they may try to nip at cattle, children, pets, or anything that's in motion. They have a strong tendency to use their mouths even during play. Number 14. Another ingrained instinct in this breed is its strong prey drive. Australian cattle dogs are triggered by squirrels, cats, and other small creatures. If they are raised alongside other pets, including cats from puppyhood, they can coexist peacefully in the same household. However, any cat or small animal outside the home is fair game to them. Number 15. With their strong wanderlust, these dogs can be excellent escape artists, often running off in pursuit of potential prey. To prevent your Heeler pup from running away or getting hurt, you gotta ensure that your yard is securely fenced. Number 16. These guys are highly protective of their families and territory, often displaying strong territorial behavior. While they can generally coexist with other dogs in the same household, if another dog encroaches on their space, they will act swiftly and without hesitation. Number 17. The Australian Heeler is typically a healthy breed, with an average lifespan of 12 to 16 years. But with proper care and affection, many of these guys can enjoy a longer and more fulfilling life. Number 18. An Australian cattle dog named Bluey once held the record as the oldest dog, living 29 years and 5 months. However, Bobby, a Rafeiro de Alentejo from Portugal, surpassed this record as Guinness World Records announced on 1st of February 2023 that he reached 30 years and 266 days, breaking the 83-year-old record held by Bluey. Number 19. Like any other dog, the Australian Heeler can be prone to a few health issues. Some health conditions to look out for in this breed include hip and elbow dysplasia, patellar luxation, progressive retinal atrophy, cataracts, and blindness. Number 20. The breed is also susceptible to deafness, which is linked to recessive piebald alleles causing white coat and skin. This genetic factor is associated with congenital hereditary deafness, although it's not possible that multiple genes contribute to deafness in dogs with piebald pigment genes. In one study, approximately 2.4% of cattle dogs were deaf in both ears, and 14.5% experienced deafness in at least 1 year. Number 21. This breed exhibits a remarkably high pain tolerance. They often don't display any reaction to severe injuries, potentially causing owners to think nothing is wrong with their dog, which can result in more significant problems. Number 22. In a UK survey conducted in 2004 on purebred dog breeds, Australian cattle dogs were part of a small sample of 11 deceased dogs. The survey revealed a median longevity of 11.7 years, with the maximum recorded lifespan being 15.9 years. Another study titled Longevity of the Australian Cattle Dog showed a mean longevity of 13.41 years. Number 23. From a sample of 69 still living dogs in the 2004 UK survey by the Kennel Club, Australian cattle dog owners commonly reported health issues like musculoskeletal problems such as spondylosis, elbow dysplasia, and arthritis, as well as reproductive issues such as pyometra, infertility, false pregnancy, and blindness. Number 24. Another study spanning 30 years, focusing on dogs diagnosed at veterinary colleges in the United States and Canada, identified fractures, lameness, and cruciate ligament tears as the most prevalent conditions treated in Australian cattle dogs. Number 25. The Australian cattle dog was bred by 19th century Australian settlers for herding cattle on extensive ranches. This breed played a vital role in aiding ranchers to grow the Australian beef industry. Using a combination of quiet yet forceful herding techniques involving nips and bites, they effectively managed sometimes unruly and nearly wild cattle. Number 26. Today's Australian cattle dog is the result of a lot of crossbreeding, as ranchers aimed to develop a hardy canine capable of thriving in Australia's tough climate and working conditions. To achieve this, they crossed dogs from England with native dingoes. Number 27. Crossbreeding carried out by various ranchers ultimately gave rise to what's believed to be the precursors of the modern Australian cattle dog. Blue-colored dogs gained immense popularity among ranch owners and drovers and were dubbed Blue Heelers. These dogs were particularly favored in cattle runs in Queensland, earning them the name Queensland Heelers or Queensland Blue Heelers. Number 28. In 1840, breeder Thomas Hall crossed dingoes with blue merle collies, resulting in Hall's Heelers, known for their silent approach to livestock. The breeding continued, catching the attention of Jack and Harry Baggast, who introduced Dalmatian and Black and Tan Kelpie crosses. This gave rise to the compact, spotted dingo-like Australian cattle dogs we know today, inheriting agility from dingoes and faithfulness from Dalmatians. Number 29. In 1893, Robert Koleski started breeding Blue Heelers and began showcasing them in 1897. He established a standard for the cattle dog, modeling it after the dingo, as he believed this type was naturally adapted to the Australian Outback. Today's Australian cattle dog closely resembles the dingo in appearance, except for their color. Number 30. The Kennel Club of New South Wales officially approved this standard in 1903. Initially recognized as the Australian Heeler, the breed's name was later changed to the Australian Cattle Dog, a designation now universally accepted in Australia and beyond. However, some individuals still refer to them as Blue Heelers or Queensland Heelers. Number 31. In the 1940s, veterinarian Alan McNeven introduced dingo, kelpie, German shepherd, and kangaroo hound into his breeding program. the Royal Agricultural Society Kennel Club refused to register them as Australian cattle dogs, so McNiven gave his pups registration papers from deceased dogs. He was subsequently expelled from the Royal Agricultural Society Kennel Club, and his dogs were removed from the registry. Number 32. Greg Lauer, a Napa, California cattle rancher, met Alan McNiven while stationed in Australia during the Second World War. Lauer imported adults and litters from McNiven. McNiven, even after being deregistered, continued to export his improved dogs to the United States. Many US soldiers stationed in Queensland or New South Wales during the war discovered the Australian cattle dog and brought one home upon their return. Number 33. In the late 1950s, veterinarian Jack Woolsey in Santa Rosa, California, was introduced to Lauer's dogs. He and his partners purchased several dogs and began breeding them, advertising them as Queensland Heelers in Western Horsemen. Woolsey also imported purebred Australian cattle dogs to enhance his breeding program. The National Stock Dog Registry in Butler, Indiana, then registered the breed with American numbers unrelated to Australian registrations. Number 34. Australian cattle dogs were listed as miscellaneous at the American Kennel Club in the 1930s. To gain full AKC recognition, a national breed parent club was needed. In 1967, Esther Ekman and Chris Smith-Risk discussed forming this club. By 1969, with 12 members, they applied to the AKC for guidance. One requirement was a registry linked to Australia, but few dogs had such lineage. In the end, the AKC took over the club registry in 1979. Number 35. After spending some time in the miscellaneous class, the Australian cattle dog received registration approval from the American Kennel Club in May 1980. They became eligible for showing in the working group starting in September 1980 and were later moved to the herding group in January 1983. Number 36. The first registered Australian cattle dogs to reach the United Kingdom were two blue puppies named Lentil Flinton and Lentil Darlet, brought in by Malcolm Dudding in 1980. Shortly after, Landmaster Darling Red, imported by John and Mary Holmes, arrived, and she quickly established herself as a highly successful breeding dog. Number 37. Over the next few years, additional cattle dogs arrived in the UK from various countries, but artificial insemination restrictions limited the gene pool. In 1985, the Australian Cattle Dog Society of Great Britain was formed and recognized by the Kennel Club, prior to which they competed in the Any Variety Not Separately Classified category. During the 1980s, Australian cattle dogs in the UK excelled in obedience and working trials. Number 38. Today, the Australian cattle dog enjoys worldwide popularity. In the AKC's list of the most popular dogs in America for 2022, based on total registrations across the country, the Australian cattle dog ranked 12th out of 199 registered dog breeds. Number 39. The Australian Heeler is a fairly popular and common breed, usually priced between $500 and $900. However, exceptional bloodlines can command prices as high as $3,000. Number 40. Besides herding work, these dogs excel in various canine sports like agility, obedience, rally, flyball, and Schutzhund. They are especially well suited for activities that involve interaction with their owners, such as canicross, disc dog, skijoring, and bike joring. Number 41. Numerous celebrities have owned Australian cattle dogs. Owen Wilson is famous for having his heeler Garcia by his side wherever he goes. Similarly, Matthew McConaughey enjoys beach runs with his heeler Foxy, and rock star Steve Earle also has an Australian cattle dog. Number 42. Have you seen the State Farm commercials starring Green Bay quarterback Aaron Rodgers? These amusing ads showcase Rodgers with his Australian cattle dog, whom is often seen hanging out with in the commercials. And while the commercials were great, the heeler didn't actually belong to Rodgers in real life. Number 43. These dogs have been featured on TV shows, notably in the 2018 Australian animated preschool series Bluey, which is a popular children's cartoon available on Disney+. The show centers around a family of blue heelers. Number 44. In 2009, an Australian cattle dog named Sophie survived an incredible ordeal. She was thrown off a boat near Queensland, Australia, but managed to swim 5 miles to St. Bees Island, primarily inhabited by wild horses. There, Sophie survived by hunting feral goats. Eventually, a ranger captured her and reunited her with her family, leaving everyone astonished by her resilience and survival skills. Number 45. At the Ravalli County Fair in Hamilton, Montana, a rescue dog named Haley impressed the crowd by riding a mechanical bull named Samson. With remarkable balance and grace, Haley stayed on the bull the entire time and even stood on her hind legs for applause. Kathy Boone, Haley's owner, referred to her as a cow dog and explained that her role at the fair was to entertain children and put on a show by riding Samson. Number 46. One healer named Shadow joins Dan McManus, an experienced hang glider, on his flights. Shadow, a psychiatric service dog helping McManus with separation anxiety, ensures his owner's safety in the skies. Together, they enjoy hang gliding at Eagle's Nest hang gliding and paragliding in Utah, with Shadow securely harnessed and keeping his paw on McManus's arm. Number 47. An Australian cattle dog named Tika once displayed remarkable CPR skills by saving her owner's life. In 2007, in Queensland, Australia, a 79-year-old owner suffered a heart attack. Tika sprang into action, jumping on the owner's chest and started barking. This swift reaction effectively revived the owner's heart, ultimately rescuing his life. Alright guys, now which of these Australian cattle dog facts surprised you the most? Please let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.